think Golden State needs it more, but also, and I hate to do this off the top of the show, but Jenna, you just used a stat. Drew loves these stats. The winner of Game 5 wins 80% of the time. The winner of Game 1 wins 78% of the time. Folks, as an amateur, really professional statistician, let me explain something to you real quick. Every individual game, the winner of that game wins the series at least 75% of the time because they won a game. And in fact, Game 7s, it's 100%. And Game 6s, it's around 90%. Just so everybody knows. These are why the whole, when you win this game, yeah, it is good to win games in a best-of-7 series. Yes, Game 3 is important. Guess what will be more important? Game 5, Game 4, and then Game 5. The Warriors need it more, however, and here's why, Brew.
Fair.
The Warriors are not used to finals adversity. When they have faced it, it's been rare. It hasn't gone well for them. That's first of all. Their championships, they have, I don't want to say coasted to them, but the last two, they obviously faced no adversity throughout. And the first one, they faced some adversity early on, but they were so overwhelmingly talented. When you had a Cavs team that was starting Mozgov and Delly alongside LeBron James, I think they figured out in Game 4 they had firm control of the series. Additionally, the Warriors in Game 3s, they're 0-3 when Kevin Durant's not there. And Kevin Durant in those Game 3s that he won with them averaged 36 points per game. And I don't think the Warriors right now, and you, as you know, someone who picked the Warriors and stuck with that pick, unlike me, do you know who their closing 5 is or their best 5 is? Because I don't. Watching this series, I don't know who they want to close games with. I don't know who their best 5 is. And so I think the Warriors, again, it's a now best of 5, and the Celtics have home court. I think the Celtics can seize firm control of the series with a win tonight. So I think the Warriors need this game more.
Well, look, I think it's the Celtics, and I think clearly it's the Celtics. And first of all, because if they lose tonight, the Celtics' latest fan, Nick Wright, will certainly flip-flop and leave them standing at the altar and come back over with me to Golden State. There's no question about it. So that's number one. All right, number two, look, as you pointed out with the statistics about who wins Game 3, who wins Game 4, that team's likely to win the series. This game is obviously wildly important for both teams, and whoever loses tonight, most of the NBA world or observers are going to be like, oh, they're in trouble. It's over. They're going to lose. So that's just how things go in series like this. But I'm going to say it's the Celtics, Nick, because right now Golden State has all the momentum. All right, they're coming off not only a win, but a blowout win. Their best player is playing well, and Boston's best player is not. And Jayson Tatum not having the bounce-back game that we all expected. I know he had the 28 points, and he was pretty good. He was better than Wildes thought, but he didn't have the type of great game that he's typically had after a poor game in these playoffs. And if he comes out again and doesn't play well, or does play well and they still lose, I think mentally that could mess with the young team in the finals for the first time. 100%. And Wildes also, Boston is not great at home. Okay, they're 5-4 at home, 8-3 on the road in the playoffs, 3-4 at home in the last 2 series. So if they come home with home court advantage, which is supposed to be good, and lose right away, now again, I think it's another mental hurdle that they have to climb. And then that gives Golden State, which is better at home than on the road, the home court advantage going forward. So I think it's important, obviously, for both teams, but I'd say more important for the Celtics.
I think you're exactly right, especially when you said Wildes doesn't think Tatum played that well. You were extra right on that part. Celtics need this game desperately. They will win this game probably by a big margin. After losses in the playoffs, their margin of victory is 15.5 points. So I've got them winning by 15. I know it sounds ridiculous. Hey, it's the numbers. What do you want me to do? They win games by 15. The other thing is, this team just does not lose back-to-back games, period. They haven't lost a back-to-back since March 30th. Before that, it was like mid-January when Dennis Schroeder was on the team. So the team does not lose back-to-backs, usually come out with a big win. Specifically about Tatum, he needs to have a monster, playoff-defining, legacy-defining game, Broussard. And I know everyone thinks I'm being too hard on Tatum. He did have 28 points, Wildes. Like, okay, it was a quiet 28. We're in the NBA Finals. You're at home. You have a chance to grab Finals MVP and follow in the torch-passing legacy from Larry Bird to Paul Pierce to you. You're the face of the Celtics. Own the series. It's your time. And Nick, people are like, well, he's impacting the game in other ways. Like, really? What? The 0 blocks? The 2 steals total? The 11 rebounds? That's not assists. It's not doing it for me. It's oh
okay,
my
yeah,
God, the assist.
This is crazy.
Stop with the assists. Crazy. That's like I can't hear anything more about these
nice, Broussard.
Bailout assists.
Okay,
it's ridiculous.
Wildes, they're not all bailout assists, first of all. Second of all,
I know
as far as Finals MVP, the last 7 Celtics championships, the best player on the Celtics has only won Finals MVP. 3 of them.
I know, but the last
Cedric Maxwell won 1. No, JoJo White won 1. Paul Pierce won 1, who was not their best player. And Jerry West won 1, who didn't even play for the Celtics. And he won Finals MVP when they won the title. There's an odd Celtics history of their best player not necessarily winning Finals MVP. Larry Bird only won 2 of them, and then Hondo won 1, when you could argue Dave Cowan should have won it. But set that aside. Nobody cares about that. Here's what I will say. The idea that Jayson Tatum has not had a legacy-defining moment in these playoffs, a legacy-defining playoff games, is flatly untrue. Facing elimination against the best player in the world, the defending champions, on the road, he had 46 points and kept their season alive without that performance. Okay, well then, can I just go back to Wildes quickly, Brew? I apologize. Wildes, do you think Jayson Tatum is the best player in the league? Yes or no?
No.
Do you think he's one of the 3 best players in the league? Yes or no?
No.
Okay, well then you're asking too much. Unless you think he is, if you are demanding that he come out tonight and Brew, tell me, do you agree, having covered this league since that, I think your first game was that Game 7 Celtics-Lakers in 1969, but since from that moment to now, like, do you think? I think he is asking a great player to play like he is one of the greatest players ever, night in, night out. That's not realistic.
Well, look, first of all, for the record, I was 1 year old when Jerry West won his Finals MVP. So stop it, all right? Stop it. Okay, all right, but Nick, I told you what was happening. I told you what was happening. I don't know if it was yesterday or late last week. I told you what's happening. Wildes is panicking. Wildes is so close. He's this close to the mountaintop. He thinks 100%. He's about to get a pick right finally, and he's putting all the pressure on Jayson Tatum. So I think there's a happy medium between both of you. Nick, I don't think Tatum has been quite as good as you think. I do think he needs a big game for his own psyche and for the psyche of his teammates. He is their best player. They're looking for him to come out and have a strong performance. This is the perfect time to do it. So I think he does need it, to Wildes' point. But Wildes, you are Nick's right. Larry Bird, I told you, 2 8-point games in his first Finals appearance. This happens to the best of them. We saw LeBron struggle in Miami. It happens, and it could happen to Jayson Tatum. Doesn't mean he's not a great player.
Okay, I understand. Jenna, this is my last point. I just have to get out. I apologize.
Okay, it won't be.
Jayson Tatum has shot well from threes in Game 2, so now it's like his whole three-point percentage looks great. He has made 4 shots inside the arc and missed 20. If you are first-team All-NBA in the Finals, that is unacceptable. He has to play well. And if I'm guilty of holding a superstar up to superstar standards, guilty as charged. I want him to play great.
Except this happened. Check Chris Paul
You
in
got to
last
be
year's
better than
NBA
4
Finals.
for 20. That's fair.
After being All-NBA. Check Devin Booker in the Western Conference Finals this year after being first-team All-NBA. You're not holding him to first-team All-NBA standard. You're holding him to Giannis, KD, LeBron standards. He's not that.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.